when the ruckus was happening during the Prime Minister's address. This is where we are shifting focus now. Let's get you the updates of the videos now, because this is something when there was a lot of commotion, chaos and protest that was witnessed during the entirety of the Prime Minister's address that went on for over 2 hours. And right from the beginning to the end of it, Pranesh, we were witnessing, or we were rather hearing, nothing but commotion.
Mita, these are fresh videos from Sansad. We saw the disruption and the mindless sloganeering by the opposition members. And if you look at the videos carefully, you will see that people of the opposition were instigated, directed, signaled to come into the well of the house so that they could, sloganeering could go on even more vociferously. And all this has now been captured on tape. There are multiple videos that have emerged. And look at this video, for instance. What do you see? The BJP has been saying since last evening that this was deliberate disruption on part of the opposition. In fact, many in the BJP also put the blame on Congress party and said that, look, even the speaker had to tell Rahul Gandhi to mind the opposition members. But these fresh videos now give us a sense of the kind of effort it took for people in the opposition to come together. And remember, from the time that the Prime Minister began speaking to well over two hours and more, this was a 2-hour, 10-minute speech by the Prime Minister. The sloganeering did not stop. Members of the opposition in large numbers came into the well of the house. That's the area right in front of the Lok Sabha speaker. And they kept shouting slogans. Not for a bit did they stop. Now these fresh videos will only add to the political blame game that we've seen. This arms the BJP. These videos will give ammunition to the BJP to put the blame on the opposition, something that they've been doing. But let's see how the opposition responds to this, because it is now captured on tape.
Well, we have Madhav also joining in. Madhav, videos that have now come about that actually shows that in a manner of speaking, it was planned that the moment when the Prime Minister starts to speak till the end of his speech, there would be nothing but protests and commotion that could be heard.
Well, it's quite evident from these fresh videos that are coming to light that, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, who's, of course, his maiden speech as the leader of opposition, this took place day before yesterday, that clearly, of course, we've seen a very aggressive approach of Rahul Gandhi. But now what we are seeing, and in fact, why this is very, very significant, is that when it comes to the Parliament, the role of the LOP, the role of the leader of the House is very, very clearly defined as per convention. We normally don't see leaders of opposition, particularly, in terms of either gathering members of Parliament or signaling to them in terms of what they should be doing or should not be doing. In this particular case, even disrupting the Prime Minister's speech is what we understand, and also several opposition members who've gone into the well of the House to raise their voice of protest as recently as yesterday, while even the Prime Minister was speaking. So on multiple occasions, floor leaders of opposition parties seen gesticulating, Rahul Gandhi himself in certain cases seen gesticulating to opposition leaders to actually be, protesting and continuing the protest as far as the well of the House is concerned. And thus, of course, this new visual, of course, that has come to light, raising very serious questions. Of course, this itself has been the topic of much debate. We have seen time and again how opposition leaders have questioned that they are not being shown as far as the broadcast of the parliamentary proceedings are concerned. But now very clearly the role of the opposition parties and the visuals of the opposition benches that are now available, very clearly show how, in fact, the process or the run-up to the members of Parliament storming into the well of the Lok Sabha took place, and clear visuals which show the series of events that actually led up to that. And we can see how leaders, including Rahul Gandhi and other floor leaders, the leaders of the DMK and the SP who are present over there, Dyanidhi Maran as well as Akhilesh Yadav and other top leaders, talking to all of their party leaders as well. But Rahul Gandhi very clearly playing or appearing to play, we can see from the body language.
Let's get a BJP point of view on this. Madhav, please do continue to be with us. Shehzad Poonawalla of the BJP is with us. Well, Shehzad, this is the other side. The visuals that now are being witnessed, the entire time when the Prime Minister started to speak, 2 hours later when he finished his address, there was nothing but commotion and chaos that was being heard.
Amita, if there was ever a picture of how to go from Daromat to Sunomat, this was that picture. The leader of opposition spoke for 100 minutes. The treasury bench of the BJP heard him out even though he was lying on MSP, Agniveer and a whole range of issues. I think they fact-checked him 12 times, but they heard him by and large. Akhilesh Yadav also spoke yesterday. I saw his full speech on Times Now. He was not even heckled once. But on the other hand, when the time of the Prime Minister to respond came, at that time, even from the time he said Namaskar and he started his speech, right up to the condolence message for Hathras. And I request Amita, you, Pranesh, please remove the condolence message of Hathras. While Prime Minister was reading condolence message for 100 plus slides, at that time these shameless people were saying Bharat Jodo, Bharat Jodo. I mean, have they lost their mind? And on the other hand, please look at Tamil Nadu Assembly. The leader of opposition wanted to talk about 65 Dalit deaths. He was thrown out of the assembly for the entire session. This is democracy. It is high time that the media and the public get to know the true face of this opposition. The BJP is in power. We do realize our responsibility. We try to accommodate. But this is the real face of the opposition. It is my way or highway. It is from moment one, confrontation, not consensus. It is disruption, not discussion. Is this what the leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi, wants to say, that this is his badge of honor? This is democracy? This is tolerance? Why didn't he allow the speech of the Prime Minister to conclude, at least conclude and then make the points he wanted to make? So they were in the mood that it is either my way or it is highway, and they are not even interested in meat discussion.
Well, Shehzad, towards the end of it, we could hear the Prime Minister himself saying that it didn't bother him, the continuous ruckus that was happening, because he says, he said that, it only gives him more strength. That adds on when it comes to such kind of, protests that were being heard. So on part of the Prime Minister himself, of course, he was being hooted, the protests that were being taking place. We have seen the entirety, the length of his address yesterday, while in a manner of speaking was disturbed continuously. Shehzad, thank you very much for that point of view. Let me go back now to Mohit. Mohit also joining us live on the broadcast. Mohit, how do we understand this is the other side of the camera that was being shown now? This is how the opposition yesterday behaved while the Prime Minister was addressing the Lok Sabha.
Well, yes, Amita, yesterday when Prime Minister was speaking on the motion of thanks to the presidential address, we saw massive ruckus and disruption in Lok Sabha while PM was speaking on what the President has said and the vision of his government for next 5 years. We saw there was a massive uproar in the Parliament, and now these videos have come out which clearly show that Rahul Gandhi is asking the opposition members to raise slogans, to protest, to disrupt, and in fact many of the opposition members...
Mr. Manikam Tagore is with us. Mr. Manikam Tagore, sir, what was witnessed in the House yesterday, right from the Prime Minister's address when he started till the time he concluded, sir, there was nothing but commotion. Now we are looking at the videos of it, sir, that have now emerged.
Thank you for the Times Now, because I was one of those people who were in the Parliament in that time. It started with only one issue. The demand was Manipur MPs. There are two MPs in Manipur. One is a Meitei community MP and second is a Kuki community MP. And we all know that there is a rift between the communities there in the ground. Therefore, there is a conflict is there. Therefore, one MP yesterday night, he was allowed to speak at 11:30. Day before yesterday night. And yesterday, another MP from the Congress, they listed him.
Right.
But his time was there, but it was curtailed because Prime Minister's speech, on the Prime Minister's speech, before Prime Minister's speech, Nishikant Dubey took a lot of time. Therefore, his time was the Manipur MP's time
was it organized, was it planned right from the beginning that when the Prime Minister starts to speak, the opposition will begin their protest, they will come to the well of the House?
You have to allow me to complete it, or else you have a monologue.
Go on, sir.
When I am saying an incident correctly, you have to listen properly. One is that when the MP, our demand was very simple. Manipur MP should be asked to speak for 1 minute. We asked for 1 minute. We asked for only 1 minute of the Manipur MP to speak. Because there are two conflicts are happening there in Manipur. Prime Minister is not going to Manipur, but there are two MPs. One MP is from one area, one MP is another area. One person has his voice in the parliament, second person's voice should be heard in parliament. We asked for only 1 minute. That was not given. Prime Minister started his speech. Then Mr. Gandhi rose as LOP. He has the right to raise it and speak to the chair and say that only give 1 minute to the Manipur person. They were not giving the mic to NOP, leader of opposition. There was no other way. The Prime Minister was starting his speech and he was not ready to yield and others. Therefore, we were demanding only that Manipur MP should be
right. But Mr. Tagore, that would have been the Speaker's prerogative, no, sir?
When Prime Minister would have been so generous and so kind to us, he would have sat for 1 minute and allowed the Manipur voice to be heard. He is not going to Manipur, but why can't he hear a Manipur MP's voice? One person we gave it at 11:30 midnight in the.
All right. So you're saying the reservation on part of the opposition was that the Manipur MP wasn't allowed to speak, additional time wasn't given to him, and that is why we witnessed such kind of commotion and protest, and that too in the well of the House. You yourself were present there. Thank you very much, Mr. Tagore, for your point of view. Let's come back to Mohit on this, because Mohit, now we have heard both sides. Here is the BJP saying that respect to the position and the chair of the Prime Minister wasn't given by the opposition, and the opposition says that enough time to their MP hailing from Manipur wasn't given. We're looking at two sides of the story now.
Well, Amita, on one hand, BJP is now attacking the Congress party and Rahul Gandhi. They say Rahul Gandhi was the one, and as seen in these videos, that instigated the ruckus and the disruption in Parliament. And we see that in these visuals, Rahul Gandhi is seen with various other senior leaders of the opposition bloc, and he's asking them to protest, and many of them, as we were discussing earlier, went to the well. And when Prime Minister was speaking, they were continuously raising slogans that there has to be discussion on need, and specifically on Manipur, because the opposition leaders, and as the Congress MP Manikam Tagore just stated, that there has to be a discussion on Manipur, and they were asking for 1 minute of Manipur of time so that Manipur MP can speak. But then it was a time of Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaking on the presidential address. So what the BJP says is that they do not have any respect, and they by means the opposition parties do not have any respect for the chair of the Prime Minister. And when PM was speaking for whole 2 to 3 hours, we saw that how massive ruckus took place. Many of the opposition members went to the well. They were continuously speaking, despite the allocated time was given. The
protest began even before the Prime Minister started to speak. He had only gotten up from his seat, and before that the protest began. But let's take a look exactly, rewind a little bit yesterday, what happened when the chair itself, when the speaker itself was trying to control and was asking the leader of the opposition and the opposition leaders themselves, the parliamentarians, to behave themselves.
माननीय प्रतिपक्ष के नेता, ये शोभा नहीं देता आपको पर्याप्त समय, पर्याप्त अवसर दिया है, ये शोभा नहीं देता। आप सदन में डायरेक्शन दो। माननीय नेता जो बोल रहे हो जब खड़े हो, ये शोभा नहीं देता आपके लिए, ये उचित नहीं है संसदीय परंपराओं के अनुसार। ये तरीका ठीक नहीं है आपका। नो, ये गलत तरीका है आपका, और ये तरीका इस तरीके से नहीं चलेगा बिल्कुल। नो, गलत तरीका है। नो, ऐसे संसद के अंदर गरिमा बना के रखें आप गरिमा को तोड़ना चाहते हैं। आप संसद मर्यादा पीठ पीछे नहीं करें। आपको गरिमा नहीं, सदन की डायरेक्शन देते हैं आप बेल में आने के लिए लोगों को। ये प्रतिपक्ष के नेता है आप। नो, गलत तरीका आपका। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी,
Now the parliamentarians from the opposition were pulled up by the speaker, saying that they need to maintain the decorum of the House. However, there are now other videos showing the other side, how the opposition was protesting while the Prime Minister was addressing the Lok Sabha yesterday. We'll be back after a short break with more reactions.